Hi, my name's Elisa, and today I am updating my 2025 project pan. So I would say that my pan is going relatively well. I do have some empties and some new products to roll in, but I also have some tweaks that I want to make this a little bit more fun. So let's just jump in. The first empty that I have is the Chanel Vitalumiere Aqua foundation. You can see that little silver line right there is where I started. This weighed 24.24 grams when I started, and it is now very empty. I love this. It is my all-time favorite foundation. I miss it so much because the foundation that I'm rolling in, I don't like nearly as much. And this is my NARS Sheer Glow foundation. I decided to roll this in because it is a glowier foundation, but I just don't love it. It's really yellow on me, so it's probably good that I'm wearing it now because it's a strange tone and makes me look somewhat ill if I don't put other stuff on top. Definitely not my favorite, and I'm hoping this goes kind of quickly. This had 52.3 grams in it when I weighed it. I can't mark it because it doesn't really settle, and I have no idea how much of this bottle I have, but I have a bad feeling it's a lot that's going to take me a really long time. Another product that I cannot get to settle to save my life is the Stay Naked Correcting Concealer from Urban Decay. As you can see, when it started, I was about halfway through, and I just can't get it to settle again. I'm not sure how I did it the first time or how many days it sat before it finally settled, but it won't this time. So this had 26.28 grams when I started. It's now at 25. Making progress. Like I said before, this is quite pale on me, so mixed with the foundation, it's a little scary. Next up is my Laura Mercier translucent powder. As you can see, those lines is how much I've used. It was 96.14 grams. It is now 90.62 grams. I used about 6 grams of product. Been using a decent amount of powder just because I find that the NARS moves on me if I don't severely powder. So been using quite a bit of this every time, but I still have quite a lot to go through. Next up, we have the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. It was 123.68 grams. It's now 121.41 grams. I've definitely expanded the pan on this. Just another product I don't like. I hate that I have to use my fingers, and I don't think it gets along well with the NARS foundation. So, bit of a struggle product for sure. My Benefit Ka-Brow had 27.56 and now has 27.48 grams of product, and a lot of that is because I had to put some Duraline in here to stop it from drying out so much, and it has dried out again. So I really need to just like hurry up and use this because it is dead. It is dead, and I keep reviving it with Duraline, and I probably am running out of times that's gonna work. Yeah, it's fine. I use it, it works, but it's definitely drying out super quickly now. My Urban Decay Perversion eyeliner was 4.58 grams. It's now 4.5 grams. It's tiny. I use the smallest amount of pencil liner when I do my makeup. So this will probably last me until like the end of the year, honestly. I just don't use the amount of black eyeliner that I used to, but we'll get there. My Urban Decay Ozone Lip Liner was 5.17 grams. It's now 5.06 grams. And yeah, this is what I use whenever I wear any kind of lipstick. I like it a lot. This is no chore to use for sure. My One Size setting spray was 97.15 grams. It is now 74.4 grams. I have used the crap out of this, mostly because the NARS foundation moves on me, and I find that if I coat my face enough in this, it helps it a little bit. Or I'm like retouching and then respraying this on my face, so I've definitely used way more of this than I have at any other point of owning this. Max Stack Mascara was 29.74, is now 28.82. This is the only mascara I have open right now. I do love this mascara. I actually own probably one or two more. This tube is not as good as my previous tubes, I will say that. I'm not sure the difference really, but I have noticed that I'm not loving it quite as much as I've loved it in the past. My little Drunk Elephant Marula oil was 15 grams and is now 14.47 grams. I pretty much only use this when I dermaplane my face, so I did that once this month. Used this. It also leaks because this is like covered in oil. This is my Hourglass Diffused Lighting Powder. This was 87.24. It's now 86.67. I really like this. I just find that it helps my makeup look just glowy enough so that it looks natural and not super cakey powdery. I love it. I will continue to use this. And this is one of the products that I'm going to be tweaking the way that I work with this. Along with that, we have the Charlotte Tilbury Bronzer Highlight Duo, the Film Star Bronze and Glow, if you will. This was 59.05, is now 58.51 grams. Hi, Scout. Definitely have a bit of a dip in that bronzer. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to tell here. Yeah, this is getting on pretty well. I do like it a lot. I like the tone of the bronzer. I like the highlight. And I used about half a gram of it, so I will take it. Next up is the Get Cheeky palette from Clinique. This was 73.24 grams, is now 73.04 grams. These are definitely drier than the original formula ones, like the individual. And I'm wondering if they're getting drier just because they're getting old. But I'm finding it difficult to pick product up. This is fine. It's not my favorite palette or blushes by any means, but I'm not upset about them. And the last thing that I will be tweaking is the ABH Soft Glam palette. I did use every single eyeshadow at least once this past month. The last day was today because I had a couple left that I was like, okay, you gotta use them. I find I don't love this palette as much as I used to love it. I find that it's a little more dramatic than I like, and I find that there's not a perfect crease shade for me. Orange Soda's too orange, and Dusty Rose is just a little too dark for what I want it to be. I made it work. I just found that a lot of my eye looks this past month were very dark for me. When I weighed this, something happened because it went up in weight this month, which doesn't make sense at all. So that is unhelpful. But what I'm going to be doing with the color products, I guess you could call them, I am going to be swapping them out on a regular basis. So blush, bronzer, highlight, and finishing powder will be swapped out quarterly, and then eyeshadow is getting swapped out monthly. So this next month I'm going to be working on my Sultry palette. We're going to see how I get on with this one compared to my Soft Glam. I used to own something like a dozen ABH palettes, and now I'm down to 3. So I want to see if those 3 still work for me and how I do my makeup. So I counted all of my eyeshadows, and I realized that if I just focused on one per quarter, I wasn't going to get through all of them. So I wanted to focus on a rotating basis per month, and I think I have exactly enough for 12 months, which is exciting. So each month I'm going to get a new eyeshadow palette to focus on, and each quarter I'm going to swap in blushers, bronzers, highlights, because I basically want to use everything in my makeup collection this year to see how I feel about it. We'll see if I get to concealers and foundations and stuff. I'm trying to focus on those as much as possible to use them up. But as far as like color product, I want to use all of it. My lipsticks, I've started a project to try to use every single one of those, which has been hard because I've just been randomly choosing lipsticks and makes it a little tricky, but I need to use 22 a quarter in order to get through my whole lipstick collection, so I'm on track so far. I will be doing an update at the end of this quarter to talk about that project, but that is how I'm going to be focusing on those products from here on out. Next up, my fragrance. This is Nirvana Black from Elizabeth & James. I know weighing this is kind of weird, but I like to do it. It was 202.89 grams. It's now 195.53 grams. I definitely got about 2 weeks of good use out of this month, and it still smells so good to me. Next up, something I used exactly one time was my Soap & Glory body butter, and that time was yesterday because I realized my skin was severely dehydrated. Yeah, it doesn't really have much use. It's fine. It was 337.86 grams. It's now 306.45 grams. I could probably get through this pretty quickly if I used it regularly, but I hate lotion, so I find this really hard. My Laneige lip mask was 46.88 grams, is now 45.45 grams. I've used this steadily pretty much every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. Yeah, and I feel like it's looked like this forever, so we'll see. It's one of those products you don't need a lot of, so it tends to just stick around forever. This is so funny because I think if I had waited like a day or two to film this update, this would be gone. This is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow PHA and BHA Pore Tight Toner. As you can see, I was up there and now I'm down here. And yeah, it's got like 2-3 uses of it left. So this is almost gone. So when that toner is gone, I'm going to be swapping in the mini of the Paula's Choice 2% BHA Liquid Exfoliant Salicylic Acid. Yeah, this is just the next toner in my lineup that needs to go. So hopefully this will not take as long as the Glow Recipe toner. Next up, we have for empties, Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smooth Blur Drops. This obviously didn't have much left in it when I started, and it went pretty quickly. I have since started on the Tula Wrinkle Treatment Drops. This is a retinol alternative serum. I like this fine enough, but it doesn't have a ton left in it. I actually think I'm like right there now that I look at this, and I don't think I'm going to have it much longer. So while I'm gonna put this in there, I'm also going to introduce the Ole Henriksen Truth Serum. As you can see, this has not been used, and it's just the next serum in the lineup that I need to get through. Next up, Glow Recipe Avocado Melt Eye Cream. This looks like it did before. This was 105.2 grams. It's now 102.8 grams, so I've used about 3 grams of product. This is going to last me the entire year and probably longer because you don't need much. And especially with my eyes, I can't put anything like up here because I get weird breakouts, so it can only go under my eyes. Crest whitening strips, I've used 2, so I had 5. I now have 3. These hurt my teeth, man, and I need to probably use the hack that I saw that was like cut them in half so that they're not coating each side of your teeth so it won't hurt so much and you can extend the use. So I think I'm going to do that because the last time I used them, my teeth hurt so bad. This has decent progress on it. This is the Peter Thomas Roth 24 karat gold mask, and honestly, like couple more uses and this is gone. It was 80.6 grams. It's now 50.29 grams. Putting this in the same bathroom where I actually take baths has been a game changer, and I've definitely used it 10 times more. Then we have the Pharmacy Night Mask, 10% niacinamide night mask, and yeah, used it a lot more than I have in the past, which is a win. So this had 190.04 grams. It now has 179.13 grams. So I am reaching for this a hell of a lot more than I ever have before. So we'll see how we continue to do. Next up, I used this exactly one time. It is the Caviar Anti-Aging Miracle Multiplying Volume Mist. As you can see where we were, we haven't really moved. Like I said, one time with this. I'm so bad at drying my hair, especially, I'll do it like later, not like immediately after getting out of the shower. I'll let it get like mostly air dried before I do it, and I just don't remember to use this. My Dior lip oil has had the tiniest bit of use. It was 36 grams, it's now 35.84. I use it when I think about it. Not much else. The Caudalie Premier Cru, the Rich Cream Moisturizer, is empty, and that is satisfying. I'm not actually putting in another moisturizer to replace it, just because I have like a mini moisturizer and then a full size left in my collection, so I'm not all that bothered by the amount that I own. I'm just gonna naturally use those. But what I will swap in instead is a bit random. And these are the Wake the Fuck Up shower steamers that my lovely fiance got me for my birthday like 2 years ago. I've used exactly one, so I have 7 of these. And I would just like to remember to use them. They're really cute and fun. I just never remember to actually put one in the shower, so hopefully putting it in here will help. Next up, my Trader Joe's sunscreen. I barely used it, I gotta be honest. It had 37.86 grams. It now has 36.22. I've been so bad at remembering to put on sunscreen. I don't know what it is. I think I was doing better before I was actually project panning, so I'm hoping I can remember. Bioderma, I have barely touched. I don't even know. I didn't mark it again because it just didn't feel worth it. Yeah, it says I used 4 grams of it, but obviously it's a liquid, and I think I used it 3 times. Awful. But I am going to add something in relation to that, and that is the Clinique Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm. This is probably what I should have used up first before putting the Bioderma in here, because this is what I reach for much more often, and I'm close to the end. So I'm hoping I'll use this up, and then I'll start reaching for the Bioderma instead of this, because I won't buy myself another cleansing balm until I'm out of all makeup removing products. So this is getting put in here right now. This has no progress because I completely forgot I put it in here. This is the Megababe Happy Pits Detoxifying Underarm Mask. I forgot that I put this in here. And like, it's winter. I don't feel as inclined to reach for this at the moment. My Dior Lip Maximizer. I did not mark again because it just didn't feel worth it, because it's just like right there. It went down like 0.06 grams. Yet again, it's kind of like my lip oil. Where I store it, I forget about it and I don't reach for it, especially since I've been reaching for a lot of full color lippies this month. It's just not my first thought. And those are all of my Project Pan products. So what do we have? 3 empties. Okay, we're swapping out the palette. I'm hoping, I know that the toner will be empty. I'm pretty sure, fingers crossed, the face mask will be gone by next update. The serum definitely will be. I by no means want to waste my products or speed up the usage. I just want to enjoy using them and use them consistently. So I'm hoping next month will be another good month and even better for some of these products. But let me know how your Project Pan is going. What have you used up? What is your biggest challenge product? Mine's probably the lotion, because God knows I don't want to reach for it. But thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, all the normal stuff, and I will see you guys again really soon. Bye.